What if one of our most important virtues, humility, is something we've all been getting wrong? And what if that little misunderstanding is actually the one thing holding you back from your real power? Well, today we're going to dive in and redefine what it truly means to be humble. Okay, let's just jump right into the big question. We're always told that being humble means you have to be quiet, maybe a little meek, powerless. But is that really what it's all about? Let's take a closer look at that assumption. So the idea most of us grew up with is that to be humble, you gotta make yourself small. We learn to downplay our talents, to kind of shrink so that we can elevate other people or maybe a higher power.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We start to think that humility and self-deprecation are the same thing. We make ourselves smaller, not because we genuinely feel respectful, but because we're afraid someone might think we're arrogant.
All right, to really get why this way of thinking is kind of flawed, let's use a super simple but really powerful analogy. Let's talk about a shovel and a backhoe. Okay, picture this. You've got a massive ditch to dig, and you have a really good, sturdy shovel. That's your own personal power. It works. But then this enormous backhoe shows up, and that backhoe represents a much, much greater power. Call it the universe, God, source, whatever feels right to you. Now, here's where our brains do a funny little trick. We see the backhoe and we go, wow, okay, that is way more powerful than my little shovel. That part's true. But then we make this huge leap in logic and decide, well, I guess my shovel has no power at all. And so we put our own tool down, thinking that's the humble, respectful thing to do. And that right there, that is the fundamental error we're making. We're confusing having less power with having no power. Your shovel is still an amazing tool, and denying that it has any power doesn't honor the backhoe. It just leaves you standing there totally disconnected with a ditch that's not getting dug. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. This has real consequences in our lives. It creates a genuine, painful disconnection from ourselves and our own abilities. When we put down our shovel, what we're really doing is cutting ourselves off from our own creative energy. We're basically giving up our ability to build our lives, to make an impact, and actually do things in the world. So why on earth would we do this? Honestly, it usually comes down to one thing: fear. We're just so scared of someone labeling us as prideful or arrogant. We don't want people to think we're grand. So to avoid that judgment, we just disconnect. Let's actually give this a name. Let's call it false humility. It's this backward belief that our power and a greater power are somehow in competition. Like for one to be big, the other has to be small. But that's not how it works at all. But what if we've been looking at this whole thing completely wrong? What if true humility isn't about pretending you have no power, but about understanding where your power really comes from? This is the huge shift in thinking. That backhoe isn't there to replace you. It's a resource for you. Tapping into a greater power doesn't make you smaller. It makes you more of what you already are. It amplifies you. And this gets to the heart of the difference between false power and true power. That false kind of power, the one that leads to arrogance, it's all external. It's about getting likes, getting validation from other people. But true power, that's internal. It's a core energy that flows through you. It doesn't need anyone else's approval. So this true power, think of it like a force of nature. It's this primal, foundational earth energy that's always there for us. It flows up from within if we're just open to it. So we're landing on a whole new definition here. Real humility isn't about pretending you don't have a shovel. It's knowing that your shovel is strong and amazing because it's connected to something bigger. It's about knowing, deep down, the true source of your own strength. Okay, so this is all great, but how do we actually do it? I mean, it's one thing to know this power exists, but how do we apply it? How do we use it in our lives? Well, one way to think about it is as a two-step process. First, we have to be open and receptive to this natural flow of energy. That's kind of like a feminine state of allowing. And then we use our focus, our intention, our masculine energy to consciously aim that power toward what we want to create. It's this beautiful dance between receiving and directing. So really, the whole point is just this. Don't be afraid to feel your own power. This is an invitation to pick your shovel back up, feel how solid it is in your hands, and know without a doubt that you are powerful. So we'll just leave you with this question to think about. What could you build? What amazing things could you bring into the world if you, finally, fully, and without apology, just acknowledged the power you already have?